Shout out to like Janelle and collective of friends. Hella talented friends though she has.
Yo, wow, talented. In my repertoire.
Eclectic.
God did.
Hilarious. Jobber Nation, welcome. We are back. Studio live in color. Well, all in black. Once again, I'm Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mr. Black. Yeah, we're all black everything. Thank you guys that are joining from the live. Hey guys that are on the live feed, welcome. We do want you guys to stay on. We got a lot to talk about. In and out of wrestling too. First things first, anyone, our prayers and our best wishes go out to anyone being affected by Hurricane
Ian moving to Florida,
down in Florida. Yo, let me tell you about your boy. The other day he goes, yo, we had a good time in Orlando. He was like, it's pretty chill. I said, we will never move to Florida ever. So get that out your mind.
No, because so one of my clients was like, it's not that bad. I was like, yo, she's like, it snows up here. I was like, snow doesn't affect you after 3 days.
The shit melts away.
It melts. You just shovel your way out.
Yo, I've always been big into like meteorology and weather and stuff like that. So like me and Mikey will watch like YouTube stuff and like we've been watching the past 2 days about the hurricane and like legit.
Shout out to my son Jordan.
I can deal with rain. I can deal with snow. I realized that, and I said, but I can't deal with my refrigerator floating in water. In 8 feet of water.
Because water makes you feel icky.
Like that shit is like
gets you sick.
Crazy. But I still will take a hurricane any day over an earthquake. I will put that on the table.
Blastoise is the strongest Pokemon.
Facts.
Because he's a water Pokemon. Water is crazy.
Water is wild and it's unpredictable. I had watched a video on the Weather Channel. This guy, this older man had got stuck in his car, like literally in like feet of water, and these guys had came. Pry open the door and like swam him to like safety. Like it is wild.
I don't fuck with water.
It is wild.
Water is undefeated.
Legit.
Who could be water?
It is the abyss.
Who could be water? Sun? Even sun can't be water.
Like
the whole planet's water.
This shit is wild.
Shout out to Captain Planet.
Good show.
Sun can't beat water.
Solid show.
Fire can't beat water.
Exactly. Come on, B.
Electricity can't
wild,
beat water.
but
well,
once
technically, yeah, but then no.
No, that's not.
Conductive.
Yeah.
Shout out, Pokemon taught me that.
It's a 2-for-1 situation.
Yo, shout out to my son Marquis, a prolific.
Happy belated
birthday. Happy birthday.
But yes, once again, anyone being affected by Hurricane Ian, our best wishes to you guys. Anyone traveling.
Happy birthday.
Because there were a lot of people that were stuck. That was why Shane wasn't on AEW this week.
Shane
he got stuck.
Shane
Strickland. Because he lives out in Orlando, Tampa. No, not Shane Taylor. Shout out to Shane Taylor. My God, I miss my friend.
We got a whole bunch of talk about Ring of Honor Dynamite.
We're going to get to that. Also, too, before we get started, we gonna get to it, I promise.
I actually want to answer your question about Jericho Elevate. That was a great question. I wasn't there for that episode. But I would like to talk about that. Because I think he has elevated people. I think Tony Khan's the problem.
Okay, so.
Okay. We'll go. Question to the table.
We'll go back to it.
Okay, question to the table.
And those that are watching on the live feed, me and Mr. last week did talk about briefly about Jericho winning the ROH title, and how is it good, bad, or indifferent or whatever. But then we did come to the question of who has Chris Jericho elevated, and if right now. The person I feel like is in that position is Daniel Garcia. I will give them that.
But it's been more.
But everyone else, like the whole thing what he had with Orange Cassidy didn't go nowhere.
No.
Darby had some saison before Jericho touched him.
This is stupid.
But what do you think? Since you were not here.
So I personally think he has elevated people. So he had a few with Orange Cassidy and he took the L on it, remember?
Yeah, because he was in the fake mimosa shit.
Yeah, fake mimosa shit. And then it was Tony Khan who didn't take Orange Cassidy to the next level. The Booker of the Year didn't do his job. Post Orange Cassidy winning. MJF got somewhat of an elevation because he was feuding with Jericho.
But I felt that the thing about Tony Khan is everybody who benefit after their feud, They had to get in his face somehow.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that's the problem.
The only pushback I have with the MJF elevating is to me, MJF already presents himself on a level that wasn't really an elevated level. And for me, when I think of elevated, you think of the next, like, if you're elevating someone, then they're going to be next up in that title picture. And none of the people Jericho had touched had got any type of title shots whatsoever.
But that's not his fault.
I'm not saying that I'm
It's
not
Tony
saying
Khan.
it wasn't a pointing the blame of Jericho not doing
you
his
just
job.
asking.
I was just saying that who has he elevated?
Well, I'm pointing the blame at Tony Khan.
Okay,
This
so
is a
then
podcast,
that's
so we like to have questions.
That's
like
a
that.
bigger picture of,
It's
of
Tony
it.
Khan is the problem.
Yeah, I think
because
Tony
he
Khan's the
had
problem.
Tony Khan is the reason why certain people weren't elevated post Jericho. Because
Okay.
Jericho did take L's, did take pins from different people who were below him.
When he took that L from Eddie Kingston, I felt like that was the gateway
yes,
for Eddie
and
to
then-
be in something, and then nothing happened.
And then, exactly.
You know
So
what?
so you have Darby Allin's another example.
Yeah.
Darby Allin did elevate slightly because he ended up TNT champion, and then he did a couple other things, and he was with Sting, other things of that nature. So that's one. MJF, you can argue MJF was a little bit already on the cusp
Yeah.
of doing something.
I feel like actually them signing MJF was the elevation.
Yeah.
Because if you had been watching MJF's
MLW stuff.
MLW stuff, like he was already on some next level shit.
Yeah.
So.
But the thing is, when it comes to people post Jericho, it was Tony Khan of not putting them in another position to win, and that was the biggest issue because I feel Jericho's doing his job. Because remember, Jericho's not an EVP; he's just a top tier wrestler. He's borderline like a player coach at this point.
Yeah.
You can give him a like Bill Russell type of feel.
Okay.
So he's in the locker room helping everybody else out and like, oh, okay, I'm taking you with me. We're gonna be in a group together.
Right, and that essentially was, I think, the idea of the first time when they had got Ortiz and Santana
Pride and
and
Powerful.
Sammy.
Yeah.
When they had got when that was put together, I think that was the idea of it, and it worked for Sammy, I think.
It did the most.
Yeah, so you can say Sammy got
So
elevated
yeah,
by
there was
Jericho.
anybody. Yeah, there was another person.
But
Sammy
Tony
definitely is
Khan
on the
liked
table.
Sammy Guevara. for
But
some
then
reason why.
but the thing is and this is why I say it's Tony Khan's fault because at the end of the day, there's so much Jericho can do.
Correct.
Jericho's not the booker.
Yeah.
So Jericho has Proud and Powerful on TV every week. In big pay-per-views, big Dynamite matches, every week they're on TV one way or the other. So Jericho did his job. Hey, you guys are gonna be with me. You guys are hanging out with me. I'm elevating you in some type of level. The problem is the booker didn't do his job about putting you in matches and giving you titles.
Right, because because I can't call them Pride and Powerful.
You know what? I'm gonna say this.
Because when you think of LAX, they never got a title shot.
Okay,
like that.
okay.
They never
Let me jump on that.
got
Let me
in
jump on that. Let me
in
jump
a
on that.
program
Let
with
me jump on
someone to build
Right.
that.
Let me jump on that. I have to agree with you. You literally had Pride and Powerful and the Lucha Brothers in company in the same exact time. Why am I mentioning that for? Look at the impact worked. All right. You know what? You may not like that matchup for your taste, Tony. Look at the other work that they did with the original LAX. Why? Like, you understand? I feel like there's such a missed opportunity. You spent so much time. This is why let's go back a couple weeks ago, what you said. This is why niggas cannot be EVPs. Because if the Young Bucks was not in the picture EVPs, I guarantee Pride and Powerful would have been tag team champions.
So that's exactly what I'm saying. The problem is you have one person. At the end of the day, it's always gonna be one person booking,
right.
and it's gonna be missed opportunities
Right.
regardless.
Right.
But my thing was Santana and Ortiz came in on a big deal. They
Right.
snuck in. They had masks on.
Right.
Yeah,
Now
they
you
had
with
the
Right.
big debut.
now you
the
with
reveal.
now you with Jericho, but you're not really getting title shots.
You're not getting any type of shot.
So you're not really getting title shots. And the thing is, you guys complain about the tag team division in WWE, and I'm not gonna lie, the tag team division in
It's
WWE
still,
is a little stale.
It's getting better,
gonna
though.
be.
It's still stale.
Of course.
It's still
But
stale.
you see
You
progress.
still stale. But at the
Okay.
same time, the EVPs are basically the bloodline. The EVPs of AEW are the bloodline. The bloodline.
Hogging up all the titles.
They have all the titles for the most part.
Because simply like this, the pandemic, right? You know what? Everybody's doing whatever. Pride and Powerful never really had tag team gold opportunity like that. Yo, they had a great feud with the Best Friends. Cool. Best Friends won. What did it with the Best Friends after?
But that was with Jericho.
Right. No.
Once again, that's Jericho.
Jericho was able to give them that spotlight.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Just saying.
It was, once again, Jericho. You did that. Cool. They lost. Cool. The Best Friends move forward. What happened to the Best Friends? Nothing happened. They never became tag team champions. Now, Pride and Powerful. You looking like, hey, who can we have original feud with outside of Young Bucks? The Lucha Brothers seem to get 1,000,001 tag team opportunities. Don't get me wrong. They deserve it. But at the same exact time, Lucha Brothers, you had a time for like a hot minute. You didn't feud with nobody, and you going back and put on Jungle Boy and them. I get that. But Tony, you're not taking care of your originals. Because, look, I agree with you. Everybody who was there originally did their fucking part. Taz did his part. Jericho did his part. Darby Allin, MJF, everybody. Now, why you not fucking rewarding them? Now they're getting award. They're claiming they're getting award. Shane and Shane and Keith Lee should not have been tag team champions.
Ever. They never had any type of chemistry.
That.
And that's what killed me.
So you know what really killed me?
No, hold on.
Keith Lee's hairline, B.
Shut the fuck up. Nigga.
We should be talking.
No, because I don't have a hairline.
we should be talking.
No.
This is always talk shit about wrestler. He wears their gear.
I'm sorry, that shit was
bald.
I'm sorry, that shit
was
hilarious.
No.
Because that's what last week was. Last week when niggas was talking about Grand Slam, he was there. He was just like, yo, Keith Lee's hairline. I said,
nah.
Okay.
No.
Hold on. He might be depressed. He might be going through something. Because he just got married, so he probably stressed out with his wife.
No,
I don't know. But the mere fact you on live TV in New York, Grand Slam, and your lineup ain't shaped up.
Well, because he was losing.
Look at KD.
I wouldn't have fucking
He does it all the time.
Well, that's
KD's nasty.
That's an ugly nigga.
KD's nasty.
That's an ugly nigga. I will say that. That's an unattractive ass nigga. I will. I don't.
Speaking of basketball,
I'm put that down.
African nigga cheated on Nia Long. Oh man, he have a long day.
I just feel bad for her because they got the Best Man, the limited series thing coming out in the winter time, so they're gonna start promoting that. Dang. And the first question niggas is gonna ask her and be like, so how's your relation? That shit is terrible.
They're gonna stay together.
Yo, for me, she's not going to. Well, they also, once again, they do have they have a child and things like that. And not saying you should stay for the child, but they're just probably other components that. That's their relationship, and that's on them.
Shout out to Coffee. We said that Coffee said y'all got the Martin New Jack City vibe going on. But listen,
because they got chains on. So
but he is a wild dude though, son. Yo,
that nigga's wild.
Yo, one of the top boss's wife, son. And you know that she ain't leaving her husband because she's talking about how that it was against my will.
She said that?
Yes, it was not consensual. Come on.
Consensual?
It wasn't.
I don't believe that.
Yo, look it up, B. I've been following the story, son.
So wait, hold on.
I'm not gonna hold you. If my whole livelihood was on the line, then my nigga, I might pull that cap and be like,
because she will be poor after.
I didn't want to do that.
No, but hold on. Wow, this is breaking news for me. So you're telling me that wow.
After a while, one was like how they was.
So he had multiple women involved in this whole situation. So he stopped with multiple women within the Boston Celtics organization. And one of the women was the wife of the VP of the Boston Celtics. And she said that it wasn't consensual.
Yeah, at first it was a consensual relationship. That after a while, she said, what did it said that? Yo, he was harassing me. It was consensual after a while. But
after a while.
So I'm assuming that she was like, I can't do this anymore. And
she probably tried to cut that nigga off, and that nigga was like, nah, I still want to fuck with you. So then it became no, he's being like, I'm not gonna hold you. I've experienced that, so I can tell you, just on a personal tip, when you don't want to mess with somebody no more, and then they start, still trying to mess with you, and you just be on something like, yo, I done already told you, no. Now, as the female, you on something like, yo, I can't get away from him.
Exactly.
He's violating my personal space. Like, you just start saying all these things because that's how you feel.
Traffic. You know, he embarrassed us on Facebook saying that I like the crew, but I don't fuck with you.
Right.
He made sure to say that, but I don't fuck with you.
Why are you like this? But back to AEW.
Wait. We gotta talk about my nigga Brett Favre. Stealing from poor niggas? For a volleyball stadium? You didn't hear about that?
So, okay, we're just gonna go this real quick and then we're gonna go back to wrestling. So, Brett Favre out here
paying for poor people.
Paying for his daughter's volleyball team and shit like
Volleyball's
that.
not even lit.
And you know what? What happens in the dark will come to light. I'm just gonna put that on the table because this nigga out here stealing money
from poor people, and nobody talks about it.
One of the poorest states in the country.
Poorest states, but yet
they got dirt roads.
Yeah, I know.
Dirt roads,
and people walk around barefoot.
I know, but I can't confirm that or deny that. But
listen, I don't know why Sweatshirt's not covering what Brett Favre did more often. But this dude's cheating.
I used to love Brett Favre. I can't fuck with him now.
I can't be.
No, I never. Oh, since we're rounding out some sports talk, shout outs to Aaron Judge, 61 home runs as of last night.
No
that
steroids?
is exciting.
Supposedly no steroids.
No.
Good.
No. 61. So he's tied with the record for the American League, which is shared with Roger Maris, who was
I'm gonna
a
keep it a
follow
buck
Yankee.
with you. I just want him to hit that one extra one.
So leave it
that way.
So
because he's black.
Yo,
strictly because he's black.
Absolutely. But it's funny because on Bleacher Report they had like a poll right after he hit it, like what number you think he's gonna hit. So I think he's gonna hit 63. So they got one more week left of regular season games in baseball.
Why people no one pitched them?
Definitely. So that was the issue. Everybody kept walking him. Like was supposed to have that 61.
But
they literally on purpose they were walking him. Like last week, me and Mikey had went to Cheap Shots and we watched the game and he was this close to getting 61 and they walked him and we were like.
Because in the last one, he actually threw outside the strike zone and he hit it.
Mm-hmm.
The one he just hit right now, I think it was outside the strike zone. One of the dudes at my job is a big baseball guy. He said the guy threw it outside the strike zone. Like he has to go outside the strike zone to hit the ball.
What did to Barry Bonds?
Yeah, they did it to Barry Bonds too. But they don't like Barry Bonds. The league hates
they don't.
The league hates Barry Bonds.
If they could add some extra games on a regular season just so he can pass Barry Bonds, they would. I think. Yeah.
Nah, they really.
But what did Barry Bonds do?
Because he was on steroids.
So everyone else was.
Yeah, and they don't fuck with everybody else either.
McGuire's not talked about. Sammy's not showing love.
Nope.
Anybody Jason Giambi.
Anyone in that era, they don't even talk about. They don't fuck with.
The only one they kind of talk. They
mess with Alex Rodriguez, maybe.
A-Rod.
And even that is
No, but he also admitted it.
Yeah, he owned that shit.
He owned up to it.
Dang.
Mark never owned up to it. Sammy never owned up to it. Jose Canseco owned up to it, but then he's the one who snitched on everybody.
That was the best time during baseball. All right, back to wrestling.
Yes, back to now wrestling. So it's been so what? Where should we begin? You know what? Let's start from the high points. Let's talk about SmackDown last week with the segment of all segments. This one got to pee. Segments of all segments, as if you did not watch the beginning. The first 20 minutes of SmackDown became must-see in a matter of minutes. So we have the Bloodline, coming out, and they are full in effect. They had Paul, they had Usos, they had Solo Sikoa, and of course, good old Sami Zayn. So they start off with, Roman in the ring and, Solo acknowledging his tribal chief and all that dumbass shit. And
He's
then
he said,
I acknowledge you. I said, that was so really easy for him to say. I was more upset of how smooth he said that shit. I was like,
nobody's going to mention that he had a beef with Jay. Like, that's he just disappear.
No, and I think that's why this whole storyline, and I think a lot of people, I've seen people talk about like, oh, Roman's still champion, it's stale, it's blah, blah, blah. But these are the things that they do to kind of give life to everything they have been doing. Like,
Thank
it'll
you.
feel stale for a little bit, and then all it takes is one good segment, one good thing to give it life. And I think that's what they did Friday night on SmackDown, where I was on the edge of my fucking seat. I either thought Sami was gonna be like, fuck all y'all, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Or with Roman being like, take the shirt off. Yo, Jey Uso.
Woo!
Listen, this message is for you. If you are not any type of world champion within the next 5 years, they've totally missed the mark and totally disappointed you as an athlete, as a superstar, because that was the hardest take off your shirt I've ever heard in life, where I almost felt like he was talking to me.
Facts.
Like, I felt that shit at
How you
home.
get the shirt off?
He said, think of it like any hood movie you've ever watched, whether it's on Tubi, whether it's on YouTube. Tubi be lit.
Steve Harvey's on Tubi now.
Tubi be lit. So whatever ratchet reality loving
so
hip hop, that was the hoodest thing I think I've
He was
ever
like,
witnessed.
take off your shirt. Take him his shirt.
Take it off. I said,
He was smiling. He was like, yeah. Once he said,
yo, Jey
I got you a new one, he was like,
that nigga face changed.
this nigga.
He pulled this nigga here.
Yo,
Look.
watching it first time,
I watched-
catch herself.
yo!
You gotta watch it twice.
Okay, so it's funny you mention that, because normally I'm a one and done.
Nah.
Like, if I watch it live, I'm good.
Yeah.
That is probably one of the few things I've watched again.
Son.
I watched it a second time
Yo.
and saw do not corner roll. I
son.
I thought you was gonna corner roll, and I was like, don't do
corner roll is
that.
easy.
No, there's no space. So I was like, yo, if he corner rolls, there
Listen,
goes the camera, there goes the
If
light.
you nice,
there goes everything.
doesn't matter.
So that was the hardest
Son.
segment I think I've seen in WWE in the last
Your
like
face.
2 years.
Yo, shout out to the cameraman, B.
I always
Son,
listen. I
the
always
cameraman
love.
zooming in to Jay face.
I don't know.
He was just
Listen,
like,
Trips, whoever you got production wise, they need a raise,
Son.
and I've been saying that because it really goes down to even the camera angles and the zoom ins and the zoom outs, and just that whole shit produced was so well produced. Like, it was top tier, as Gene just said. It was top tier shit.
Top
But
tier.
for Sami Zayn now to be officially an honorary Uso.
Breaking news.
Oh, okay.
Brian Alvarez noted on Wrestling Observer Live that Tony Khan had no plans for Ring of Honor initially, and jumped on buying it because WWE, among others, were
Pretty
interested
confident.
in acquiring it as well.
Pretty confident Stevie Wonder could have seen that shit.
Yeah.
That makes, but you know what's crazy? And we'll go back to SmackDown in 2.5 seconds. I had said that the other day to someone. I said I would have rather, if Tony really felt the way he felt and was just trying to capitalize on some shit, I would have rather just bought the collection, started whatever online thing you wanted to do platform, and had the library available for ROH since you bought it, and let it be. You could have still picked up all that talent and still did something, and it still be an AEW thing, instead of confusing everybody. And now we're all sitting here like, well, we want an ROH experience, and we can't get it. And we gonna get to Jared. We gonna get to the AEW side of things very soon.
Ring on, Dynamite.
Question to the table: how do you see this whole bloodline thing ending with Sami?
I don't know.
Sammy's
Where
gonna
do
break
you-
him apart, my
Okay,
dude.
so-
Sammy's gonna break him apart,
Okay,
and
so-
I cannot wait. And
so-
then him and Solo
Yeah.
gonna become a tag team.
Okay,
look
so
like
I
they're
know.
like
So
this.
I see that kind of already happening, that him and Solo either going for, whether it could be NXT tag titles or whatever. I totally see the two of them, and I like that they kind of gave Solo the enforcer role, because it gives me that it gives me reminiscence of Four Horsemen. And it gives me that whole, like, okay, we're going to reestablish stables and things like that. Because even going to, I don't want to fast forward to Raw, but even going to the Judgment Day thing, and fucking Finn out here on some, like, trying to create a Bullet Club 2.0 situation, trying to get AJ on his side. So, like, they're really starting to put together a few stables, I feel like, that will essentially help build, whether it's new stars or build new storylines or just build new things in general. So that's really exciting. What? So yeah, we all can agree. We feel like Sammy's gonna turn. We just don't know when, how, what. But the moment that happens, Jay is gonna be like, "I told you niggas so."
Yep.
And that's
I told you.
That's the payoff that I'm waiting for.
I told you.
I'm waiting for Jay Uso, and I mentioned to your brother when you was in the bathroom. Yeah. I said, if they don't make Jay Uso a champion within the next 5 years, we've done a terrible job, because the character build that Jay Uso has been doing within the past 2 years, even going to when he was feuding with Roman himself. And like being like, oh, I ain't no Punk, I ain't this, I ain't that, and you really see him being able to hold his own, and then him still being able to grow within that as a tag team champion. It's just they're doing some next level shit with him, and it's really exciting to see that. What did you guys think about the Lacey Evans Liv Morgan match?
I mean, it's typical. it's typical wrestling jumbo crop. Is, hey, you want to display how hardcore they do? They do something hardcore and rev up the crowd. Wrestling 101.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm trying to think what else happened on SmackDown that we can talk about real quick. Oh, you know what? How do you feel about this? Is rumored Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel.
All for it.
I'm for it. Because this is Triple H booking this.
This is great booking.
For the United States title.
I'm all for it.
I love it because, again, and this is what Vince was not doing in his later years. He was not making all belts feel important. You understand? Nope. So having Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, that is money. Again, storyline right there. This is the man who's been carrying Raw on his back, Bobby Lashley. Brock Lesnar never held any other title besides the world title. So now he could be on excursion on some, I want all the titles now. That's a good-ass storyline to put Bobby Lashley in.
Okay.
You understand? So, like, he could go, I want the U.S. title. Let's say he get that, whatever. Down the road, he could be in tag team. Him, and Braun Baker? Come on, B. The Beefy Boys?
Oh, speaking about Braun Breaker, and I'll talk a little bit about NXT, because it's just so funny that they really Men in Blacked us with the 2.0 shit, because now it's gone. Like, any reminiscence of anything of NXT 2.0 is not even on TV, even down to the TV guide. It just says NXT. It's hilarious. So, but if you haven't already watched, on Peacock, there's a Table for Three new episode with Braun Breaker and the Steiner brothers. So him, his dad, and his uncle are at the table, and they're talking about, once again, you know, how do they feel about getting inducted into the Hall of Fame? Because it looks like they recorded it around that time of WrestleMania, when they got inducted. So they talk about, you know, how does it feel being inducted? They talk about, you know, where Braun. They even actually asked Braun, why did you go with Braun Breaker and not Braun Steiner? And he talks about why he went the opposite direction.
What was it?
He basically said he wanted to kind of create his own. He didn't want to be known or be in the shadows of the Steiner brothers, which is understandable. And he said that he got the Breaker part from his time playing football, because that was his always mentality, was that he wanted to, just be the breakout star. He wanted to, make sure he was on the top of his game. So he talks about it in depth into why he was a smart football player. He went into that direction.
I just thought that he wanted to be Breaker because he break niggas in half.
That too.
That's what that meant. That's what it was too.
It's a mixture of both. Okay. I promise. But I highly recommend watching the Table for Three episode on the Steiner family. It's really good. So you mentioned Braun, and I had watched it the other day. So I was like, okay, cool. Because I really was watching it to see if Rick was going to say some off the wall shit. So, but he didn't. So I was like, okay, cool.
Well, it's still PG.
I know, but I mean, he insinuated some shit, and then he stopped himself. So it was just like, okay, cool. But I highly recommend the Table for Three episode on almost at the network on Peacock. So make sure to tune in for that.
Peacock is $199 now.
I don't even really.
I
Is
don't
that for
know
new
that.
subscribers?
New subscribers. Yeah.
For how long?
I don't know how, but it was like $1.99. They actually have pretty good content.
They do.
But
they
that
do.
listen,
I watch Kings and Queens every day.
I tell people all the time like that complain about Peacock. I'm like, yo,
There's other stuff.
you don't utilize it because
You
there's
don't.
other shit on there.
There's
Like we
malice
found
stuff.
some show called The Resort on there.
Yeah.
That was hella good and suspenseful. Like it's and if you like NBC shows or like stuff like all the house everything that's on Bravo's on Peacock. So like the Housewives shit is on there. Like so like you gotta utilize it. Like if you gonna pay for some shit, utilize it basically. But okay, anything else about SmackDown that maybe you guys wanted to talk about before we move on to Raw?
The potential of my son LA Knight coming back.
Ooh, yes. So maximum male models, even though I kind of dig the maximum male
Well,
model
it's because it's
thing.
funny.
I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah.
I dig it. They had a match, I believe it was against New Day, on SmackDown, and they had lost. And and my guy LA Knight, he Eli Drake, whatever you want to call him today, he had took off his jacket. He was very upset because they keep losing. So I do think we will see the returning of LA Knight.
I did watch Rampage, right? Well, a little bit too late to say this now. Juice
That was
Robinson out of nowhere?
that was the
random.
Rampage. You talking about the Rampage that was the Grand Slam
Yeah, yeah,
Rampage?
yeah.
Okay. Oh, we can
Juice?
talk about that.
Yeah, Juice got an opportunity. I'm looking like, no.
So it's funny because I had watched because I didn't
Yo,
get
he
to
be
watch
wrestling
Dynamite.
some people. Like, don't get me wrong, they're good wrestlers.
But
I'm looking like
your boy
you're
Simon
not-
Miller had talked about it in Ups and Downs thing that he had posted earlier today. Because that was how I was able to catch clips about Dynamite. And he had mentioned, he was like, Juice's whole thing was that he had already wrestled John Moxley before.
Yeah, US
and-
title, right?
Yeah, it was some other shit. So that was like his premise of going for the title and whatever. It was very weird and very random. But we should already be used to it being that way because they don't focus on like the whole even going to Dynamite this week with Jericho and Bandito. It was just like we didn't create any type of story.
That is fine.
We just gave
understand that.
Bandito
Bandito, I'm okay with.
Right.
we gave Bandito the title shot that he was supposed to be owed, but then there's no story to it.
There's no story.
But that's the story though. Okay.
But if you're a fan in the crowd cannot hear commentary, you won't know that.
Yeah, but the thing about it's not for the average fan.
It's not.
It's for the fan that knows more than the average fan. They're not built for the average fan. And Bandito was the last ROH champion. So
Actually, he wasn't.
no, it was Roosh, right? Was it Roosh?
It was Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah, he was.
And I only said that because
No.
we were there when Bandito won. Actually, the title.
No. Hold on.
We went to that show.
Wait. Bandito was the last champion under the ROH umbrella.
So when did Jonathan?
No,
When did Jonathan Gresham win it?
I think that Jonathan
he
Gresham
won it.
won after.
He won it after he. Okay, so
It was,
Bandito.
that
Bandito was 35.
That was the AEW pay-per-view.
No, but he had the title before that pay-per-view.
He did.
He did?
He walked
Yeah.
into when Tony bought ROH. Jonathan Gresham was still ROH champion.
When did he become ROH champion?
When ROH had he was still champion the last pay-per-view that they had.
Someone's gonna say it. Hold on. When was
Well, technically, Bandito was the.
But that's what I'm saying.
champion, but he
On
didn't
commentary, they mentioned how Bandito was getting the title shot that he was owed. But my issue is that if you are in the crowd, if I was in Philadelphia and I was in the crowd, I wouldn't know that because I couldn't hear commentary.
So listen. You are 100% right. You are right. But AEW is not for the average fan.
No.
No, I get that.
And 10 out of 10
the
times,
casuals,
someone's
the
gonna tell you.
casuals, the randoms,
No.
the people that check in just for that moment. Correct. They don't cater to those.
They don't
fans.
cater to those fans. They cater to Tony Khan's booking, which is the same way as WWE caters to Vince McMahon's booking. At the end of the day, it's not for the casual fan. Hey, I'm gonna turn on the TV and watch and then watch. I don't know who Bandito is.
Okay, Gene said, well, technically Bandito was the champion, but didn't lose it because he had COVID.
No, correct.
No, that's right. That's right. And I
fine.
think
No, that's
Gresham
what I'm
got
saying.
it after.
Gresham got it right after that because that was the ROH show we went to that he won.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's at the end of the day, it's not.
That's why they had Gresham and Lee.
See, but they didn't even. But you know what's crazy? They didn't even when Gresham was champion. They didn't even present it as interim champion.
They didn't.
No, they just made him regular champion.
They present right. That's what I'm saying. So that regardless of the fact, thank you, Gene. But regardless of the fact is that you have people. You got to figure out how you want to balance it because there has to and it's not, and once again, I hate trying to compare WWE to AEW because that's not really what it is. It's just you got to find the balance that works for the company that you are booking for. So because the whole and I mean we're jumping around, but the segment with Paige did not hit at all for me. I don't know about y'all.
It was so.
I don't know about y'all.
I was like,
but that shit ain't.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and people are gonna be mad about this. Paige is overrated.
I agree.
Paige is absolutely overrated, cause she ain't that fire in the ring. Let's keep it a buck.
Oh, go ahead.
Paige has never been fire in the ring. She ain't that great on the mic, as we saw the other night.
She has moments.
No. She's trash on the mic.
Wait, let him finish.
She's trash on the mic. Once again, Paige is overrated. And the reason why I say Paige is overrated is because she was never like this elite person in the ring. She was never this elite person on the mic. So Paige was something that was slightly different to your typical diva. That's what it was. She was a gothic type of chick that was slightly different to your pinup style diva.
So how you feel about AJ Lee?
AJ Lee was actually good. AJ Lee was actually good in the ring and actually good on the mic.
Can I say something about AJ Lee?
What?
Reason why I'm not a fan of AJ Lee, it's nothing that she had to do. I just feel like I never saw a match that make you go, wow. Because, no. And I feel that is totally, she came before her time. Because nobody can name a fire AJ Lee match. Not due to her, it's due to how many times she has.
It's good to her competition. You are 100% right. So if she wrestled in this era, we would talk more about AJ Lee. But when it comes to Paige, it don't matter. Whatever she's in, she's overrated.
So here's my take on it.
Nah.
And I'm gonna run with it. No, it's not like you don't have points. I'm very 50-50 on the mic skills.
She got big titties, and that's why she's over.
Wait.
She had both.
I want to say this before you to you. I have to agree because I sat down through the PG era, and even her feud with Charlotte wasn't that good. Yeah, she said a little something controversial about her brother. That's wrestling in general, you know.
Oh, so she good for the one-liners because that one-liner that she had about Britt. No, but Britt's one-liner was better than hers.
But overall, though,
just thought about that.
What
Britt said was wow.
I can never name a fire Paige moment. You understand? You know what? Her fire moment, maybe her sex tape, the threesome she had.
I forgot about that. Wow. Totally fumed. Totally.
So we just break this up.
That was an alley.
I'm just saying.
You know what?
Outside of that, okay.
I can't.
Let's keep it in ring. Yo, my brother's right. Her promos was not fire. What were you doing all this time at home?
Well,
on
no,
Twitch, my nigga.
So she makes a lot of So she makes a lot of money.
Cause
her
titties are big.
Nigga, I said she bought them. She knew what she was doing.
No.
You gotta invest in yourself.
Let's keep it a buck.
Gotta invest.
No, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Cause y'all don't want to say the truth. Paige is very attractive.
She is very attractive.
She's very attractive. She has a very sultry voice.
She does.
So if I'm at home and I got this very attractive woman with some big old tatas on my Twitch screen, bruh, I'm paying cash.
Like
I'm listening to you. Like
if Paige saw the OnlyFans, she'd be in the top 1%.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay,
she's highly attractive.
This is what I'm gonna say about Paige, and then we can.
What is special about her?
So
and she got a British accent. That is sexy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, put us on.
So,
put us on.
My thing with Paige is that
Don't hold back like you do Toledo.
The one thing, that bitch. Y'all already know how I feel about that one. So I will agree with you and your stance on before it's time, and I feel like I'm not gonna take away from Paige being a part of the stepping stone into WWE's revolution. I'm not gonna take that away from her.
Who?
From Paige. Because the Paige, the AJ Lees, they're all building blocks to what we know today.
Of course, I'm not taking that
No.
away.
I'm not saying you are, and I'm just putting it out there because once again, we love, as much as we love our viewers and fans and everyone watches, people will pick apart and not take away.
That's the point. I want these views up.
Yeah.
This nigga here, problematic.
It's a podcast.
Nigga wants to be problematic, but so my first things first, I'm not taking away from Paige's building block in terms of women's wrestling. I'm not.
No.
That is always going to be on the table. That's always going to be submitted in her history.
It's part of the culture.
So my issue with the whole segment, because that's really what it's about, is there was just such a lack of, I feel like, understanding the women's division. And a part of that is definitely on the TK side of things. And then you don't really have an understanding of what her actual role is. So you don't know if she's like the commissioner for the women's division, because that's the vibe that it came off for me. Because you in the ring and you're like, well, actually, this interim women's title match is now going to be a lumberjack match and all this other stuff. So it's just like when you called out the women's division, you really didn't. You really should have just called out the names of the people that came out, because you still didn't have Jade. You still didn't have Kiera. You didn't have Nyla. Like, there still are other women that are a part of the women's division that you didn't include in the segment. So at that point, it was just like, I would have preferred it just being her, Tony, and Britt in the ring and them talking shit. And then she being like, well, the lumberjacks. And then all the women would come out and be lumberjacks. That to me would have made the most sense. But once again, not my show. It's fine. But my issue is there's no clarity on what her role is. There's no clarity on the women's division as a whole.
The women's division is trash, B.
So it's just like, the pop that Paige got here in New York, New York is always going to hold that shit down.
Well, because we're a wrestling city.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I know there were some people
and
online.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I popped too.
No,
because I didn't expect it.
You didn't. Right. And that's why I said when we recorded last week, I said this year's Grand Slam was definitely better than last year's. Oh, well, actually, you went to both. So would you agree with that? This year's was better than last year's?
It was better. It was easier to digest.
Why?
It was watching at home.
Yeah, even watching at home. That's how I felt. Watching at home.
It was the
flow.
The flow was better.
Okay.
Now, I didn't like. Well, the thing is, the MVP on both shows goes to Bryan Danielson. His match on the first time with Kenny Omega is a classic, in my opinion, like a wrestling classic, not like a sports entertainment classic. It was a wrestling classic. His match with Jon Moxley, he carried that match.
Absolutely.
He absolutely carried that match. And
Jim Cornette goes, "Is that the first match Jon Moxley had in AEW where he didn't believe?" And I was like, "Oh, I think so. Maybe."
Because he had to wrestle. It was weird because they made Bryan the heel in the match versus Moxley. So I didn't expect that. He did a great job playing the heel in the match. And he carried that whole entire match.
It's because he's a professional at the end of the day.
He just carried the match, and then he did most of all the moves, and John just took a beating for the most part, which is what you're supposed to do when you're the heel. You're supposed to give a lot of heat. So it was a good match, but the pacing of the show was very digestible. The crowd popped when Acclaimed won.
Absolutely.
Oh, you got Cardi B saying scissor. You guys should scissor each other. She said that in a rap.
I'm asleep.
She said it.
But it wasn't about the claim.
I'm gonna take it that it was a claim.
It wasn't.
Who cares? She said,
fine.
Y'all should scissor
Yo,
each
you
other.
know what killed me? Because y'all know I love me some Jim Cornette clips. Yo, Cornette had mentioned on his podcast. It was so funny because it was true, low-key. So that whole fabulous shit when he came out with Keith and Swerve, and then what was the DJ Who kid came out with the Acclaim, but then Cornette goes, well, then how do you have both of them sitting together in the crowd if they came out with the opposing teams? And I was just like, that's a good point. I was like, that's a good point.
Well, there's
like, what was the point in that?
The thing is that they're trying to connect with.
They trying to connect, but guess what? It don't connect.
They're doing wrong.
It don't connect.
Like,
y'all had Trina come out.
And
with
Don't
DM.
disrespect Trina.
I'm not.
And betrayed.
You had.
And then
It made sense.
Okay, it made sense, but they didn't have Diamante like that. And on top of that, it was funny because then on the Dynamite segment, fucking Jade goes, "Isn't that your girl?" And I was just sitting there like, yes, I'm glad you acknowledged that. But then it was nothing like there was nothing else after that. And I was like, oh, fuck, they kind of missed that opportunity to kind of build that up. And that could have been a thing.
No, nobody likes Diamante backstage.
But the thing is, though, is then don't do these things like that. Like,
That is true.
then
What's the
don't.
point?
What's the point of having them on the roster if
was
you're
a-
not going to use them?
Supposed to put Jade over,
And we see how that's going.
and then it's because Kira and Diamante.
It's like
together.
it's weird because it's like I hate you. It's weird because
That's why.
it's like you have these two titles.
around.
You have these two titles, and they're living in two different dimensions. It is the weirdest thing to me. Because when Paige came out and was talking about the women's division, it was just like, so we just totally not even going to include Jade in any of the shit.
What they should do is relinquish the TNT, the TBS title.
Yeah,
They relinquish, give Jade the regular title.
But then ceiling.
Huh?
Ceiling.
No, Jade just has to become the women's champion.
What really has to happen, she does have to take the first L.
No, she doesn't.
And then she does. And then she has to rebuild herself to then getting that women's title. She can't drop one title and pick up another.
That will force his lead TV.
Because that's what I said
hard.
last week when we were last week's episode.
No.
She doesn't have. There's no type of program for her to help elevate her.
No, there's no need for that.
Okay, all right.
Give her the Goldberg moves, bro.
And bro, look how that has worked out so well.
Goldberg is still putting butts in the seats till this day. 20 years later, he's still putting butts into seats.
It's oh god.
Yes, but I don't like Goldberg, but he's right.
It's just.
But what's next for Jade?
I'm
Like
not
we
paying.
said last week,
I'm not paying.
Jade beat everybody.
Jade hasn't beaten Britt Baker.
Yes, she did.
She did.
I don't think so.
She hasn't beaten
First of all,
Toni
she
Storm.
hasn't. That one may not be true. She might have done that.
Listen, at the end of the day, give her the Goldberg treatment. Throw it to the door at the top. Then she falls down.
So what happened to Nyla?
But she's
Nyla
not at
Rose?
she can't be at the top if she's the.
Oh, that'd be
the-
a good feud.
She can't be at the top if she has a mid card title, like the women's mid card
Well,
title.
make her take the women's title too. Double champ, B.
No. Okay, Tony.
I'm making her a double champ.
Okay, Tony.
Make her a double champ.
No.
Okay,
And then do
so
what?
she never loses.
She doesn't lose. Then she finally loses both titles. She breaks down and cries. And
nigga.
then she goes off TV.
So how
Nigga,
long?
there's no
so how
way.
long do you
There's
think
no
that she'll
way.
be- yeah, that's
There's
not gonna last
no
forever.
way that proud black woman is ever shedding a fucking tear on a TBS, a TNT show.
So let me ask you a
Listen.
question.
Or pay-per-view,
Let me ask you a
ever.
question.
It's never
Let me ask you
happening.
a question. How long should she be double champion then, Booker?
3 months until the next pay-per-view.
Nigga, that sounds like Cesaro, and look what happened. Now, of course, Jericho's the ROH champion, wants to take out everybody from ROH.
This isn't about her. This isn't about ROH.
I did not like that. I didn't like the ending of that shit at all.
Bandito should have won.
Why?
So the reason why I say Bandito
Cesaro should have never lost the title.
and Cesaro's boring.
But then why'd you do it?
Because it makes Cesaro feel good.
That shit not worth it at the end of the day, because that long term shit it doesn't happen.
Cesaro's trash on the mic. I don't want to
We
hear
all
Cesaro
know that.
talk.
Oh, listen, how do you think I felt watching Rampage?
I don't want to hear Cesaro talk.
How do you think I
So
felt?
how you feel about Willa Eula?
He's trash too.
But I kind of don't mind the whole him and MJF
Yeah,
thing.
me either.
To waste the time,
No,
I don't really mind it.
no. Will Yuta is great in the ring. Phenomenal wrestler. Trash on the mic.
What
Yeah,
makes him
we
trash
know
on the mic?
that.
Huh?
What makes him trash?
Because he doesn't.
Somebody needs to write his stuff.
It doesn't give a presence. You know,
Somebody
you
needs
know
to
how
write
like
his
if
stuff.
MJF can come out and the crowd goes wild, and that's just him. But at least MJF can talk on the fly. He doesn't look like he's stuttering. He doesn't look like he's like
And that's why
falling in between his words.
So, yeah, but that's the problem. They're fucking up Yuta, making him look trash because
And-
you're not giving
yeah.
him lines. Give him lines.
They make him talk for too long.
He shouldn't be talking at all.
And you know what's so funny? Let's go back to your boy Tony talking about how he was willing to give CM Punk 8 minutes, but not Thunder Rosa. But he definitely gave Paige and all them biddies. It was definitely an 8-minute segment.
He doesn't like Thunder
It's a
Rosa.
solid 8. Oh, I wish Thunder. If you would love to come back, we would love to have you, and you really can
She's not
just
gonna
tell
talk-
your
she's not
side
gonna
of the
talk shit about
story,
him.
really. But it's not even talking shit. It's just like speak your truth. Because at the end of the day, sis,
No, they signed
you
an
know.
NDA.
Yeah, I know.
So did any
Fucking
last
hoes.
even after they leave?
You said what?
Does it last even after they get fired?
Yeah,
or leave?
NDAs are like NDAs.
Dang.
Yeah. Like, that's like real. That's why like the contractual shit. Cause like, so how do you guys feel about apparently Tony Khan is not releasing anyone? Like, no one is released.
Sorry.
Why would I release them?
So release Brian Cage. I haven't used him in months.
Why? So you go to WWE?
Yeah.
No.
And that's why they picked up his. I think he had like a 1 year
Bro,
extension.
you stay in the
And
back.
they picked that shit right on up.
Even though they got bum out, Tony Khan shot him in the foot. So when it comes to a lot of their contract, I don't know if it's everybody, but like for instance, CM Punk's contract, there's no downside guarantee.
What does that mean?
So that means you get a certain amount of money if you're not working. Not the full exact.
It's like sick leave.
And then you have to work a certain amount of dates to get your money.
Mm-hmm.
And the contract is not going to be up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tony doesn't have that.
Tony doesn't
WWE
have none
has
of
that.
Tony doesn't have none of that.
So what does he have then?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's all guaranteed money.
So niggas, so like Punk being out now with a real injury that he did to himself, probably low key, he still gets paid.
But don't WWE pay you anyway?
No, not so. It depends on how the contract is set up. So let's say, for instance, let's use Kevin Owens for an example. Kevin Owens signed a 3-year contract. He has to do 30 appearances to Make-A-Wish, whatever it is. I use Make-A-Wish because that was the first thing I thought about. They have all these parameters for you to get X amount of dollars. That's how you're like. I'm contracting you to do these obligations, and this is what you're gonna get paid for. On AEW side, let's say you get a 3-year contract. Paige signed a 3-year contract. It doesn't have any parameters. You can come on Dynamite 1 week and not be on TV again for another 4 or 5 months. Who knows? Who cares?
So they salary
And
employees
still
then.
get the money. Yes, still get the money that is contracted to you.
But isn't that good?
it's good for the wrestler.
It's
but
good
it's bad
for
the
you.
company.
It's not good for me because if I have CM Punk contracted and it's not in the parameters of like you have to complete X amount of days to get X amount of dollars, and now I'm paying you to sit at home, I'm losing money.
Mm-hmm. And like Gene
Think
said,
about
your
it.
contract extends if you're injured.
Think about it like, or what sometimes WWE will do is they'll freeze the contract until you come back.
Yeah.
So that you can still either get, they still get the contracted days and you still get the money. So they'll freeze that, yeah.
It happened to Rey
Weird.
Mysterio. He was injured for 6 months.
Yeah.
He came back.
Yeah.
They extended his contract another 6 months for the 6 months that he missed.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Tony also shoots him himself in the foot because it's
Yeah.
automatically guaranteed contract.
So
And
Punk
I'm not mad at
Punk
him.
is out for what, 7 months? Because he tore his arm, whatever, the pec, whatever. He's out the 7 months. He's gonna get paid all that 7 months and still get paid up until the end of the contract.
Which is good for Punk.
Which is great for Phillip Brooks, but maybe not so much for Tony Khan. But that's why, that's why, like, on the business side of things, it gets real sticky in those parts because you have some people that are either contracted per appearance. You have some people that's contracted annually. You have some people that's contracted for 3 years, 5 years, like all type of random shit. And it's just like,
I wonder how those checks be looking like.
how do you like think of it like Chris Statlander. If she's contracted and you have to and guaranteed money
I'm
and
pretty
she's
sure
been
she's
injured,
contracted.
I'm pretty sure she's contracted, and you've been injured twice with both injuries taking you out for at least 3/4 of the year, bro, what type of value?
But then again, these are like NBA contracts.
Well, I don't know how those work, but
What do you mean?
Because that's the NBA contract. A lot of them are. Like, if Steph Curry gets injured right now, he's guaranteed all his money, regardless of how many games he played or not.
No, but which is so the thing about it, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I actually like it that way because these people put their bodies on the line every day.
That is true.
So they should be getting paid for their full amount of money. But
hey, Quiz.
it just hurts Tony because he's like, damn, I still got to pay you out. You haven't even been on TV.
And you're an asshole.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
Yeah, it's the weird. It's
When it come-
the Wild Wild West that
when it
they
comes to
have.
that. So
Yeah.
listen, it's just like That's just how he does his contract.
Yeah, so it's weird.
I mean, it's his company.
Correct. So, actually, I wanted to ask you guys, going back to SmackDown a little bit, and then we'll go to Raw, and talk about, and then we'll get to finish up with Dynamite stuff. But
don't forget Battle Club.
What are you? I'm saving the best for last. What are your thoughts on the Drew McIntyre Killer Cross feud that they have going on? Outside of the misfireball, because I'm gonna call a spade, ma'am. Outside of the misfireball, what are your thoughts on the feud between Drew McIntyre and God call him Karrion Kross? He will always be Killer Kross to me. So what are your thoughts on that?
I love it.
Why? Who do you think benefits more from it?
Drew.
Why?
Because it adds more character work to Drew. Even though I've always been a Drew fan, this is elevating his character work a little bit more. He gets to be, and I think he's being more himself. He gets to be that badass that he wants to kind of be, and then this sets up Karrion for future stuff because it's now establishing him in that semi-main event scene.
Okay, what are your thoughts, Mr. Black, on the feud between Killer Kross and Drew McIntyre?
Again, give people something to do. That's
okay.
it. Like, that's how I see it. I'm not against. Think about it. They are like not taking a lot of TV time, and they take what they have to take up, and it gives them something to do. Because the world champion's not there, so you want other feuds. Like, this goes back to how the old school was WWE. Like, regardless if you had a championship or not, you was in a feud.
Right.
It was like your chance up. Look at Dex Lumis and The Miz. No titles.
What are your thoughts on that? Because
you need it. Like, people may have an issue with this. Says, it's hokey. I'm looking like wrestling is a variety show, in ring and out ring. Certain stuff you may not like, but that's with every show. You understand? Like, for example, I watch a show on Netflix called Mo. Right? There's certain characters I do not like because I'm like I can't stand them. But guess what? He did his job, and I'm proud that a person got paid.
Correct.
That's how I see it, though.
Okay.
So I'm not against it. I'm like, all right, whatever. And that's what you could do. Now you are underneath Triple H. Now this is kind of one of Triple H's first feuds. Like, one of the beginning feuds two of his guys. Together. So let me see what he could do.
Yeah, he brought back one to put him in something that now is like showcasing him in a different light. And I like I'm always been a sucker for build-ups. So even going to when Cross came and re-debuted and came out and attacked Drew, to even him being front row, bought paid ticket to Clash at the Castle and still didn't even touch him, the presence was there. And to now every time he rolls up on him on SmackDown. So I think it does help Drew. And I definitely do think that it adds that mystique in wrestling that we're missing, and that's why I kind of like the Dexter Lumis, or even let's talk about this White Rabbit thing that's been running wild and crazy and got everybody up in a frenzy. But these are the things that makes wrestling exciting. These are the things that keep you wanting to tune in. It makes it episodic. It makes it okay, must see. You get that excitement feeling that I feel like as for us as wrestling fans that we've been kind of missing out on. So yeah, who do you think the White Rabbit is?
It's Bray Wyatt. It's Cody Rhodes.
Ooh.
It's not Cody.
As this nigga stress, I know it's not Cody, but it's actually, but in a multiverse, if it was Cody, that would be the ultimate whoa.
Why does it have to be white?
I like the unknown. I don't. Okay.
Okay
now.
Yeah, but why does it have to be a white rabbit?
I don't fucking know.
There's black rabbits out there.
They have black and white rabbits. I had one in college.
You had a black rabbit?
I had a black and white rabbit we called him Oreo. So we had a rabbit in college. Me and my boyfriend at the time. We had a pet rabbit because he, of course, was. I feel like he was a nigga that was just yo, I want a pet, and I was just like, did you really need to have a pet? And then we. So I never.
Did the rabbit die?
I never. I'm gonna get to it. Never forget. We went to Petland down on Main Street.
Oh yeah.
In Queens. because at the time we was living near St. John's. So we go down to the pet land, and then I'm just like, I'm just here to be here. He wants to get a pet. So we first get we get a hamster. We get a hamster. It's like brown. We call it Reese's Pieces because I had all different shades of brown. So we had Reese's Pieces maybe not even a week. And this nigga was like, this pet is boring. I want to exchange the pet. And I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? So we go back to Petland and we go, he wants to see what other animals you have. So we find the rabbit. The rabbit was black and white. So we exchange. I've never experienced this. We exchanged the fucking pet. We exchanged the hamster for the rabbit. Took the rabbit back to, I had an apartment off campus, so the rabbit stayed with me. We had his cage, all type of shit. Then the rabbit fucking would do fucking racing in the thing every morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, every day. And I was like, you have to figure out what the fuck you want to do with this rabbit, because I can't with this. It wakes me up every morning. So school ends, we go home, we go back uptown, and we got to, move out for the semester's over. So the rabbit ends up staying, long story short, the rabbit ends up staying with his grandmother in Harlem because my mom was like, I don't want this rabbit here. So the rabbit goes with his grandmother in Harlem. And then
Grandmother ate it?
Grandma fed it to the point where he got overweight and died.
Is that possible?
Yes, you can yes.
She
just fed like, let me tell you, the size of Oreo went from like this, like when we got him, small rabbit. That's why I wasn't crazy. That nigga was like wide and long. And by the time she had him out the cage. She put him in the cage. She had him out the cage, but she took care of the rabbit though, because she loved it. She loved.
So she gave the rabbit diabetes.
I don't think it was diabetes, but she overfed him all the time.
High blood pressure and diabetes. Because he got fat.
Yeah.
So it's high blood pressure and diabetes.
I don't know if we're gonna attribute Oreo's death to high blood pressure.
He was black.
He was black.
This one over here says the white rabbit is Adam Rose, and that's funny as hell.
And someone said that. Gene said that it could be Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny.
Oh.
Bad Bunny.
I don't think Bad Bunny would go with the white rabbit situation.
Like, I mean, he is Bad Bunny.
Right, and I think like if
the
rabbit had like 2 X's in its eyes, then I'd be like, okay,
but then Triple H said
that's
something you never expect.
Right, so that's why it's hard to think it's the Bray situation
which might work
because he said it's somebody you don't expect. So what's the one person we wouldn't think of?
Bad Bunny. Shout out to Gene.
Bad Bunny, I feel like it's definitely on the list because it has Bunny in it. So
yeah. Okay.
That's a little smidge obvious.
Okay, I'll go with Gene.
So those are watching on live feed. What's the one person that has not been in WWE for a while that would be the one we would be like, holy shit, like, whoa.
Okay, I said Bad Bunny. What you said?
Who's the one person like you would be like, whoa? That's not Bray, even though I think it's Bray. But
one person I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Adam Cole.
Whoa.
That would be
that would be like, how the hell you pull that off?
Yeah, it would be like, so who did you pay off to get that to happen? Because from what I heard, that man is contracted for like 5 years.
Forever, yeah.
Like he's doing a bid at AEW that I don't even think he set himself up for.
TV?
No.
I think he might be injured.
He's injured. Yeah.
He was injured. That's why he hasn't been on TV. But then they were saying he actually I think was cleared right before All Out. So that's why I was surprised they didn't use him. Josh said Jonah.
I mean, Jonah was his man.
But White Rabbit,
new gimmick.
That'd be wild. I actually like the gimmick he had going. Well, it wasn't really a gimmick. I like the vibe he had in NXT because it also low-key translated on the indies well. So from the times I saw him.
It could be El Gato.
The Legato.
Yeah, because he was off of TV, he got kicked off NXT because he lost to what's names. And now
that's almost borderline Andrade.
Yeah.
I would go Andrade before I go them though.
Yeah, it's Tony's house now.
They all live with Tony.
Huh?
They all live with Tony.
Who?
The wrestlers.
They all live with Tony?
You said it's Tony's house?
Yeah, because like he lost to Gargada because it was a mafia.
He talking about so he don't watch NXT like that, so he not gonna know who you talking about. He talking about D'Angelo.
Oh, Tony D'Angelo. I thought you meant Tony Khan.
That's his house. That's his house now.
No, I got it.
Yeah, that's his house.
Somebody that don't watch NXT like that may not get it.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, wait, hold on.
That's his house.
Let me clear that up for you
my
because
bad,
I saw the confusion and I was
Yeah.
like, I know what he's talking about.
That's his house. Like, he got kicked out. Yeah, he got kicked out. So
It'll never be Alberto Del Rio, okay?
you
gonna
never know.
You're gonna have to let that dream go.
It could be John Cena. Yo, so I was at work, and then where we spend most of our days out now.
Okay.
So I was at work, and then the lady that's like one of the heads for Make-A-Wish. Wow.
Oh, okay.
Okay. She came into the job and she was like working out, whatever. And I'm small talking with her, and she was talking about how nice like John Cena is.
I was about to say, she talk about Jonathan Cena?
And then she was like, how that, and I was like, oh, didn't he like break the Guinness Book of World Records for the most Make-A-Wishes done?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. So she whatever. And then I was talking to one of the guys at my job. One dude, he like kind of watches wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like no, both of them don't watch wrestling. One was an older cat, and one was my client. And then I said something. I was like, yeah, if I can get the Make-A-Wish to lady to help me meet The Rock, that'd be great. And he was like, no. I was like, yeah, maybe I could tell her I got shot when I was a kid. But then he was like, you're taking a wish from somebody else that needs it. I was like, whatever. So anyways, the real story is, the real thing is, I was like, yo, you know what's crazy? John Cena just broke the record for the most Make-A-Wishes ever. And he was like, nah, that's bullshit. Nah, I don't believe that. And I was like, no, I don't think you understand. John Cena's mega popular among kids. Mm-hmm. He was like, nah, I don't believe that. So he looked it up. He was like, oh. Mm-hmm. Oh. He was like, this is true. And then he was like, hold up. How long has Make-A-Wish been around? And then he looked it up again. He was like, oh, it's been around for 60 years. And
wow, John Cena to come in, that will probably the last, 20 years.
And he has done the most Make-A-Wish out of anybody over the 60-year history of Make-A-Wish. And then she also told me that, like, The Rock is up there, like, number 3. Michael Jordan's, like, number 2 on that list of, like, a lot of Make-A-Wishes.
Of course.
But she was talking about how most kids don't associate Michael Jordan with basketball. They associate him with sneakers.
With the sneakers.
So she was talking about that. I mean, she was like, yeah, The Rock stayed doing Make-A-Wishes. Like, he be so busy. But
this nigga said, I'm going to create a story to get a Make-A-Wish. We can get you the Rock. We're gonna get Rock. We're gonna get Dwayne. Be canceled for that. Don't worry.
Nobody will talk to you after that. If you lie about making a wish, niggas will never talk to you again.
I won't let you go out like that, but we'll figure out a way to get to Dwayne.
I'll lie. That would be fun. Imagine I go on live. Hold on. Like we're like a little bit popular, right? Yeah. Imagine if I go on my IG live and be like, yo, hey,
somebody tag The Rock. Send this to The Rock.
Yeah, send this to The Rock. Yep. People come up to you. Hold on. Yo, how's your brother? He's okay? You need any help? I bet you every friend Rachel will donate.
And you know what's crazy, though?
No, don't do that shit.
No, don't do that because he's not going to carry the story. He going to forget. He gonna forget that it's a lie. So somebody gonna come to him and be like, "Yo, how's your brother doing?" He gonna be like, "Oh, he's fine. He's great. We just recorded a podcast yesterday. He's not sick."
They're like, "He's so strong. How he do?" He's like, "Yeah, my brother is strong. He lifts a lot of weights." I was gonna say that too. Yeah, he is strong.
Yeah.
They were like, "No, but yeah, he going through cancer. Cancer? Oh yeah, I forgot. That is me." He gonna go, "Oh yeah, I forgot. He does got cancer." And they're gonna look at him like, you're such an evil brother. And then, but the thing about it, I gotta keep the lie going.
Yeah. Like once you start the lie, you gotta keep the lie.
Yo, you alright?
So
man?
So watch this nigga gotta go in like a wheelchair.
He looks good with clean shave.
He gotta come in like a wheelchair.
I definitely have to shave off everything. I gotta come in a wheelchair. They're like, yo, the chemo's getting me, B.
This is wild.
The chemo's getting me. And they gonna be like, what? I think I got 3 months left. I just want to meet The Rock. Okay.
No.
So you meet him. You gotta die, dog.
Why would you kill him off?
Boy, if you say, "Oh, I'm here for cancer," niggas gonna investigate you, dogs. He said I got to die. But he has a point though.
Yeah.
If I got
this nigga then has to die and then create a whole new identity because he hasn't really died.
Like, I got a new identity either, you know?
Well, he needs a new social. He needs a new everything.
The thing about it, I would have to die.
Yeah, like
I'd have to go off the grid. I gotta move to Mississippi.
That's the only way.
Josh said you're the white rabbit, which I'm not far fetched. Nah, I'm not gonna hold you.
Because the thing is, I'm just saying, like, I really would have come like, yo, have terminal 4 cancer, whatever. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Goodbye.
Yo, I just want to meet The Rock before I die.
Goodbye.
You have to die.
I just want I want The Rock to be on the Jobbertears podcast. And he pops up and said, oh, hey.
He give us a solid 2 hours?
Nah,
Yo,
I listen.
if
Rocky, first, you would have to go. You would have to go, unfortunately.
There's no coming back for that.
No coming back.
Because he's a busy man. 2 hours. 2 hours. Yo, you really have to die after that, V.
No, like the next day. It can't be like right after. You gotta kind of sell it. Yo, that's wild. The art of selling is so real in so many different parts of life. Like, whoa.
Yup.
Then they're gonna get a new. He said Wilkins is gonna be the Jobbertears Alliance Ezekiel.
Yes.
Yo, what would your alter ego be like on the podcast?
You'd have to be light skinned.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have to be light skinned and tall.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And not funny.
We went to the polar. At least
and skinny.
You went
and braids.
opposite. What?
Yeah.
I'll have to have braids.
And could sing.
So what?
You gotta throw people off.
Like I have to be light skinned, tall, and skinny.
Yeah.
And I gotta sing.
With no ass.
Yeah, I gotta be skinny. Just straight skinny.
No ass.
You gotta you have to do that. Like if The Rock does that, man, like
I really do have to die though. Like if The Rock comes on here after I said I had terminal 4 cancer, I have to die the next week.
Go.
Yo,
empty casket.
Nigga said empty. No. Okay. Nope. Not doing this no more. Nope.
Tupac did do that.
We're not doing that.
Yo, come on,
that is where we draw the line, guys.
Talk about Battle Club.
That's where I draw the line. We got a few minutes left. I can't deal with you. Raw this week. How do you guys feel about I like the build-ups and the matches that they have already for Extreme Rules.
Yo, it's actually extreme.
And it actually, yeah, like in actuality, they've
match.
really.
Wait a minute, Extreme Rules.
No, it's next weekend.
So did you also hear? And it also goes back to your Extreme Rules comment.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a shift, and it goes back to NXT.
Yeah.
So supposedly, I don't know how true this is. It was on Twitter or whatever. They're now going back to scouting indie talent.
Mm-hmm. They had said that after the tryouts they had in Nashville for SummerSlam. They said it right after that.
They said what?
They said it was trash. Yeah.
It was terrible.
It was too many people getting hurt.
Yeah, because
people didn't know what they were doing. So, because remember, the tryouts that they had hosted in Nashville was for talent and also guys on the indies. Mm-hmm. So, they've been scouting, like the wrestling, like the basketball players, the football players, like athletic students from college. They've been scouting those, and they had invited them to the compound that they did in Nashville, and it was a disaster.
Yo,
and
really? I didn't know that.
They said from there that they're gonna refocus on the indies and going back to that. They had said,
you never okay, you've been in training before. Look at a guy who just came off of football or basketball and then transitioned to the ring. They look goofy as hell.
No, so I actually want to talk about this real quick because I know we have to go. We have to talk about Battle Club.
Yeah.
So what people don't understand, and especially athletes,
shit is hard.
The shit is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hard.
Like, so let's rewind. Kurt Angle is an Olympic gold medalist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not just like a great athlete. He's just like top tier, superior athlete, like on to another level, like conditioning top tier. Yes. Like you saw his A&E documentary, like
number one,
different type of training.
Number one wrestler in the world.
That's actually all, but that's actually
like legit wrestler. Not no like fancy shit.
All
legit.
of that stuff is what got him noticed too.
Right.
Yeah, but which is great. But when he went to the tryouts, he almost quit.
Yeah, he's like, this ain't for me. Like,
this ain't
hard
for me. Because what people don't understand is that you have to be athletic. That's one. But you also got to be able to make things look real, but not hurt yourself at the same time. Because if you're a football player, I'm used to tackling somebody, and my goal is to knock the person out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people ask, like when we talked to Encore, he was like, yo, I used to play football. I used to do this sport, this sport, this sport, this sport. Absolutely amazing. But it took him different things to do to understand it. So I'm going to give you one more thing. The new class that I have at House of Glory, right?
Yeah.
We have a brand new class.
Yeah.
It's kind of like NXT.
Yeah.
So they're putting on shows right now and doing things. They are different because a lot of them did mixed martial arts, but also they're ridiculously athletic and they watched wrestling. That's the other thing. Most of these athletes that they get never watch wrestling. They didn't care for wrestling, so they don't understand wrestling. The guys in this class are ridiculously athletic, but they also watch wrestling.
They have the mental trainer already.
They already know what they're looking. They already know that this is a predetermined sport, and that's what they got to do. But when it comes to regular athletes, the only issue when athletes come on board is that they never liked wrestling. They never watched wrestling. They never respected wrestling. So when they come in to try to do the sport, this shit is easy, and then they're blown away by it. But we flip the coin a little bit. You have guys on the independent scene who have horrible habits. And it's not their fault because independent scene is the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
So nobody's going to teach them anything. So a lot of people don't want to listen.
Yeah.
So
and every territory is different. Every region you're from is different.
So when WWE's eyes like, yo, you're 31 years old. I can't break these habits out of you. I might as well get an athlete who can jump out the window and teach him the right way to do things. But this athlete never watched wrestling. Doesn't know the concept of wrestling because the concept of wrestling is I have to make this look real, but at the same time, I can't hurt you. Mm-hmm. That shit is hard.
But the thing about it is, I agree with you, is because a lot of them don't have respect for the sport at all. Oh, this shit is fake, this, that, a third, blah, blah, blah. They look at it. It does look easy on television. But when it tell you to take a bump, that shit is hard. Mm-hmm. Because there's a way you got to take a bump where you going down, thrust your hips up, tuck your neck in. Because if you don't do that, you're hitting your head. The first time I was doing it,
tips by Mr.
I literally had headaches. Like, if I didn't smoke.
Yeah, that's typical.
Like, if I did not smoke, I would have had a concussion. That's how bad it is. And on top of that, the thing about it is something that, shout out to the Fallout Shelter. If you want great training, great teachers, be an AEW, Fallout Shelter. So like I was saying before, is my brother is right. Something that they always keep on saying, be fucking coachable. And a lot of people are not. Ego. The first thing they want to say is, no, I don't need to do this. Shit is stupid, blah, blah, blah. You know what they're going to say to you? Okay, if he rolls, let's say us two did a quarter roll, right? And I'm a third guy. Yo, you didn't fucking listen. Get the fuck out of my gym. They're kicking you out. Mm-hmm. And my brother is right. They have a lot of bad habits that they need to break. But on the flip side is, I understand why WWE go after athletes. The Rock, Stone Cold, Big E, Bobby Lashley, list goes on. But the difference that all of them have in common is they watch wrestling.
Yeah, Stone Cold know about wrestling.
Yeah.
The Rock got trained by his top pops.
When Taker was coming up, even though Taker played basketball, he always had a love for wrestling and got into it and started training and things like that. But it's not to discourage like someone never watched it, never knew anything about it. But I will agree in that being coachable instance because someone, what it boils down to, and it actually is just in life in general, is you want to be able to work with someone that can take direction. And direction definitely plays a huge part regardless. It plays a part backstage. It plays a part in the ring. It plays a part even on commentary. It plays a part in every place that holds an important piece to wrestling. You need to be able to take direction, and I think, and you can tell that a lot of guys that are on the older side of things it may be harder to take the direction. So like when you have people that's been in the business 20, 25 years and they, I don't want to say they think they know it all, but they know what they know, and they may be the ones that may be hesitant to take the direction because they already have it in their mind of how they want to go. So it's gonna always be a clash, and it goes to the same even with the young niggas. Even look at Randall when Randall was in his 20s, 21, 22, and they tried to put everyone around him to direct him in that right direction, and he wasn't taking the direction. He was like, I still want to do my own thing. I don't give a fuck about what anyone else is saying. Before you add on to that, Ja asked real quick, what are some good wrestling schools in New York or Long Island? I know
Fallout,
of
Shelter.
course, Fallout here in Queens, in Long Island City.
House of Glory.
House of Glory is in Jamaica. Ja, you may want to look at Creative Pro. Creative Pro is on the island. And that's whatchamacallit, not Zack Ryder, but that's them. All of them, like him. What's the other one that was cool with him?
Hawkins.
Yeah, Hawkins. That's Hawkins in them school. But MJF is from there. Willow's from there. There's a whole bunch of people else that's from
a couple people I even work
Creative
with
Pro. So Creative Pro would probably be the direction I would recommend if you're on the island. But here in New York, you have Fallout, you have HOG, you have,
and they're both right there from the highway.
You have a few other schools, but listen, before anything, always just do your research.
Exactly.
And once again, just know that what a school for one person can work for them and may not work for the other. Don't let it discourage you, because there are just different styles of teaching, everywhere in general. So just make sure to do your research and do what works for you, because, once again, you have, the two of them are actually the best examples, because you have one that goes to one school, you have one that goes to other school. They go to school for different things and have different teachings and things like that, but they also do have that understanding of being able to take direction or to venture out into understanding. And that's also sometimes the scary part in training and in wrestling is venturing out, because people always kind of like want to stay in their bubble and then complain low-key about it. But once you kind of have that foundation, then you can kind of grow upon that. And that's kind of like my tidbit on that. But definitely look at Creative Pro. Definitely look at Fallout, of course, or look at HOG. But there are other schools out there that may just either be starting or,
work with your price.
Right. Or it may not be affordable and things like that, because that's also an important part. And we had talked about that, it feels like years ago, talking about the affording of wrestling schools and how important it is to have something like that. I don't want to say in the hood, but in the hood, because you have all these potential superstars that have always dreamed about this but don't know where to go. And that's kind of like another building block in terms of why we started doing the podcast, because we wanted be able to have people to have that platform and to be able to say, you can come here, you can do this, you can do that. So, but go ahead. What were your points to that? And then we'll wrap up.
Ending up is just like, for anybody who's in independence, don't lie by experience. Because
they're going to be able to tell, baby.
Exactly. If you say you've been in this for 10 years, I'm expecting 10 years of experience from you. If you've been in this for 2 years, I expect a certain expectation from you. All of this lying, I've done this, that, and that, you're going to be tested to the point that you're going to take a move and you easily land in your head, or guess what? That person do not go fucking home because you want to brag about you had 10 years experience. That's it.
Hey, Dre.
Don't lie. And the one thing...
Kentucky Dre.
What up, Dre? One thing I realized is this, is just in the wrestling business, all your lying, deceivingness will fucking catch up to you.
Oh, well, yeah.
Everybody I seen been devious to people are not even prospering wrestling industry right now. So basically is do not lie, be honest, and be coachable. And you'll go way further. What I mean by coachable is, if one teacher says that, hey, do this quarter roll this way, at that school they do it this way, do it that way. Yeah. That's it.
Because then they know if you're doing it right or wrong, and they'll be able to tell you to either reposition yourself or, they'll be able to coach you in that sense. So, yes.
So, speaking of ending, wrestling, my home promotion, Battle Club.
This Saturday, we are celebrating 6 years.
6 years, baby.
Of Battle Club Pro, blessing the indie scene with some awesome shows, some awesome matches. So make sure to come out this Saturday in Brooklyn. It will be indoors, ladies and gentlemen. I have that confirmed because, due to the weather. because we're getting all that rain from the hurricane. So
Some quality
tickets
matches
are still on sale.
On sale right now.
Front row is still open. We got a few seats left.
Like
so make sure you go on Brown Paper Bag Tickets to purchase those tickets.
Brown Paper Bag.
I knew one of them was going to do
right
this.
Here,
that's why I set
below,
it up
right
that
now,
way. But we did have to make some adjustments to the card. I won't disclose those. I do just want you guys to come out, support. Everybody that's on the card has put their blood, sweat, and tears into, I will send it to you, into Battle Club, whether it's for this shows a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever the case might have been. Joakim has really done, his due diligence and really creating and showcasing young up-and-coming talent literally before my eyes. And that's why it was really, really dope to see Bowens get that tag title, because to see him from the indies and growing and being
Anthony Bowen with Mrblacc, Mr. Black, description below right now.
And being a champion of Battle Club Pro once upon a time, and now being one half of the AEW Tag Team Champion. So stuff like that is really, really great to see happen. But we want to once again thank everyone that has supported, sponsored, bought a ticket so far for this show. We really do appreciate it. So once again, this Saturday, October 1st, 6-year anniversary show, Battle Club Pro. Doors will open at 3:30. Show will start 5 o'clock sharp. We got 8 full matches that will be going top to bottom.
Of course, the chocolate ruff's going to be there.
And a lot of it will, once again, it will showcase the amazing students at Fallout Shelter. So we want to be able.
I just want to say this, come out, dogs. The same way that you support Jobber Slam, Black Girl Magic, come out and support Battle Club, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear y'all talking about.
Send Josh.
Yeah, I will say that to him.
I don't want to hear everyone talking about, we love wrestling, but right here in New York, Joakim put on the Battle Club and them boys and that girl Janelle be putting on bangers for the hood, B.
Listen,
everybody,
it's funny because I watched when I was at home watching Grand Slam. I was just like, these people that don't bought these tickets, they can definitely support independent wrestling.
Let me break down. Let's see you bring out $150 for the event. Just you, $150. The tickets. You could buy T-shirts, stickers. You could cop Bud from the Bud Man around there. You could cop food, all of that. But yet, when you go to these AEW, WWE, $150, that's just for the ticket. But at Fallout, affordable ticket pricing, of intermission, you could talk to the wrestlers, you could hug the wrestlers, Dang. None of y'all creep niggas that be smelling people. None of y'all be there. But, great atmosphere,
says the
dogs.
nigga that used to smell my hair in the beginning when we recorded.
Why you gotta talk about that?
I'm just saying.
But look, like I was saying before, man, support the hood.
Support independent wrestling,
man.
And I think
that's
really
just... deadass support that, man, because,
it's the chain.
There's a lot of up-and-coming great... I'm gonna say it this way. For y'all cheap niggas, it's a great date, B. Wrestling and chill. Everybody who brought their girl got Cuddy right after, B. Guarantee getting Cuddy, B. First day. Oh, yeah. He saw a collective, B. He bring him to his Raw Wrestling. Man, I'm telling you, B. This
Was that
Saturday,
an experience for you that you brought somebody to a wrestling event or show and then you got Cuddy after?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just wanted to know.
No. Look, again, I'm saying that, son.
I just was random.
I love Battle Club. Give me the opportunity to be the chocolate ref, B. I love it, though.
So you can catch Mr. Black refereeing this Saturday at Battle Club Pro. Make sure once again to purchase tickets. Once again, you can go to Brown Paper Bag Tickets. I know. But we will 8 strong matches happening this Saturday, so make sure to come out and support. And then right after that, we will be back at Legends for Extreme Rules. Which is Sunday.
Out. Shout out to Triple H for the card, man.
It the 8th? Yeah, I think it's the 8th. I want to say it's the 8th.
I think it's the 8th, yeah.
No, it's the 9th. Oh, that's my anniversary. I should probably know that. So October 9th. You may have to come and see about Prolific. But once again, we'll be back at Legends October 9th for Extreme Rules. If you're not going to be in the Philadelphia area going to the show, actually. And then we'll be back at Legends for Full Gear back in November is coming up. And then Survivor Series. So we got some more events coming up. Also, too, to put on your radar, November 4th, We Are Wrestling is having their show in the Bronx. So make sure to support that. It's a Friday. So Friday, I think, is November 4th. And then the next night, November 5th, those wrestling girls are celebrating their 4-year anniversary, I believe, in Brooklyn, New York. They will. They've been posting about that. So make sure to support that. They are doing a panel, and I have been asked to be on it. So I thank the ladies at Those Wrestling Girls, Patricia and Krista, for inviting me to be on the panel. So I will be there. Brooklyn, New York. That's November 5th. So there are things that are coming up. We're coming up to the last of the year. What episode are we on? Are we hitting 250 yet? What's up?
Close. We're hitting 250.
So we're almost to 250, guys. So make sure to tune in as we creep up to that number, and we, finish out the year out strong, because we want to 2023 maybe. I feel like we always like, this is our year, and then every year is our year. So 2023 will be our year. Once again, you can make sure to follow, subscribe, all that stuff to Jobbertears Podcast on all social media platforms. And then, as always, I'm Janelle from HR, here with Sir Wilkins and Mrblacc. # Black Excellence. # we are out. And they block me.
I was over, got the hands in motion. If you go a rolling, no need to focus. Traveling states and over oceans. You gotta wait till your coast chosen. Trying to have lines outside the show like Harry Potter releases at Barnes & Noble.